Oh man, have a look at these textures. They work really well. Welcome to the studio, it's Froyle here. I'm so glad you've joined me. Today we're jelly printing with beautiful textured papers from our scrap bag, and then we're going to put a fabulous collage together. It's going to be beautiful, it's going to be a whole lot of fun, and I hope you're going to join me. Right, so the scrap bag is the fabulous collection of small and amazing papers, especially the textured papers, the little pieces, the offcuts, the end pieces, the last bit of a page or a small section of something I've printed. They're fabulous. I love putting them all together in different folders because then I can find them when I want to create collage and I just need another little piece or something, or a side bit, or an extra little shape for the cherry on top of the collage. So today we're going to be using some of these beautiful papers for printing with, and some of these beautiful papers we're going to be putting into a collage. So it's going to be a little experimental. The prints may or may not all work, but you know how it goes. We have to at least try. And in this particular scrap bag that I've got here, I have fabulous bronze. I know, surprise, right? Copper, beautiful gold. Look at this. This one is the stencil butter in Stardust, I think it's called. Anyway, it's pretty nice. That's going to work. Oh, some crosses, fabulous. There's some more of my wonderful dashes stencil, yay. So these colors are going to work. And of course we have a splash of red in here as well, and black and neutral colors, and some glorious, oh, these ones came from a class I've been working on for Skillshare, yay. Shout out to Skillshare. I have 15 classes on Skillshare. You really need to get on and have a look. That's where you'll find my 100 Days of Collage series, and that's what this particular jelly print has come from. We had a fabulous time. I'm not telling you, but we were using a stick to draw with inks. So, I'm thinking some of that for the collage would be really good, but let's play with these textured papers first and take some prints on the gel plate, and then we're definitely going to put something together. As you can see, the colors work really well. I like to put similar color tones into my scrap bags because then when I'm looking for something specific, I know where to find it. So if I want bronze or copper or neutral colors, then this bag would work really well. It also has some red in it because red's the best. That's all I can say about that. Right. Oh, my crosses. This is one of my stamps too. Pretty fun. So let's do that. Let's create some jelly prints with some textured papers, and then let's put something together with some of these beautiful papers. We definitely have enough highlights for some focal points, some background papers. Look at the gold on that. Gotta love it. Yay. So I've pulled out some of the textured papers that I know are going to work on the gel plate, like this fabulous lace paper from Kozo. That worked really well when I printed it recently. Also, this paper prints incredibly well, and so does the threads paper from Kozo. They all work, so they are fabulous to have a try on the gel plate with. This red one here I picked up when I was in China. It pretty much feels like the other textured papers, so I'm sure that that would leave a print. But then we could also have a little experiment with some of my papers that I've got here that I've used the stencil butter on because they're quite raised. They might work, they might not. I don't know. We should try it. But also this is a really cool idea. If you've got some cardstock in pieces or strips like that, especially coming out of your scrap bag, then they will work. So let's try all of it. What should we try first? I don't know. Let's start with something dramatic. A little bit of deep matter. Now, my problem today is going to be not to put on too much paint, because I tend to put on too much paint and then my prints don't work as well as they would have if I hadn't have been so heavy-handed. So yes, oh my gosh, that is so who I am. I'll try not to put on too much paint today, but I can't guarantee anything. So let's start with this Kozo paper. I know works incredibly well because I printed it a few weeks ago and it was amazing. What's really fun about this particular technique is that you can use little pieces. That's why they're in the scrap bag, right? So you don't have to have massive amounts. You can use just little bits, offcuts, all the ends of pieces of paper. That works really well. I'm just going to put some on the plate like that. Now this particular white one, my beautiful friend Teresa sent me this. I love it. It's so incredibly fibrous. Thanks, Teresa. You're the best. I love it when people send me gifts. So that's fun. Do we want to put a little bit more of the red on? Let's just add a little bit over here because we're pretty much using the textured paper like a mask, and we're masking out the areas of paint so that what gets printed is the space around the textured paper. And then also what's left underneath in the ghost print, oh man, looks even more amazing. I think that's the prints that I like the best, is the ghost prints. Now I'm using this one, this Japanese sketch paper, rice paper made in Japan. Look, my pad's empty. Oh man, I'm gonna need some more. But that's the one I'm using for these particular prints at the moment, unless I change my mind and grab something else. So let's have a look at what we've got. Look at the incredible marks that it makes with the paper. Isn't that amazing? It really is. I just love it. Now, because I've been talking too much and it's quite humid here today in beautiful New Zealand, my textured paper may be a little stuck on the plate and it might not produce much of a ghost print. Stop talking, get it off the plate. Oh, the red one's coping a little bit better. So they make it tough in China. And this is the other beautiful Kozo handmade papers. It's a little delicate, handle with care. What I love about doing this with the paper is that it gives it such a beautiful fine layer of paint, and that works really well in collage. Right, so I think we should just roll on another color and pull this print, because look how good that looks on there. Let's just pick all this fibrous piece off there. What about we use some Titan Buff and pull that print? I'm thinking it's probably dry enough because it was a really thin layer of paint. But seeing as it's blending in a fair bit, maybe it wasn't so dry. Oh well. Too bad, so sad. Let's have a look and see what my fabulous paper pulled up. Oh man, it picked up more of the print than I thought it would, which is always a really exciting surprise, right? We like it when it turns out better than we think it's going to. That's just beautiful. Have a look at that. That looks fabulous. You can see the beautiful texture of that lacy paper, and both of them printed really well. Yes, it's beautiful. So that's the negative print, and that's the positive with the ghost print. They're just glorious. You could easily paint in sections of the white paper, or spray it, or watercolor it, or really add anything to it. It's the beautiful marks and the lines from around those fibers that I absolutely love. Right, so we know the beautiful lacy paper works really well for pulling the print. It looks fabulous once you coat it in a little bit of paint. It's going to look glorious in the collage. What about we try one of the straighter pieces or the more geometric shapes and see how good they'll look. Now this is one of the threads paper from Kozo. Let's put it down there. How about we add some of this? This is a bit of a cardstock. I really like this color on the paper, so I'm going to put it with the plain side down so I don't cover it in paint, because I actually want to use it for collage at some stage. Even if I don't do it today, I'm going to want it. So if we put the plain side down on the paint and create the mask, then it won't get so wrecked. Maybe we'll add another piece of the Kozo paper up the top here just to create some more marks, because we love mark making. Let's put that up there and see what that does. And perhaps we'll put a few little marks down the side here with my catalyst comb. That could be quite interesting. Oh, don't wreck the paper. I like that paper. Righto, it's all a bit of fun. This time I'm going to use this piece of paper. I just pulled this. It's just dry. It's dry enough. I just pulled a couple of plain coloured backgrounds on the same paper just so I could have some to use. And because it's quite warm here today, it dried really fast. So that's actually quite useful. I'm not sure how much print will be left from this paper, but that's the fun of experimenting. That's the point. You've got to try these ideas and see what it does. Righto, let's have a look at what we got. Oh, that's just fun. Look at that. What a cool pattern. So these little squares have come through the paper and printed, and they look really fun. Love it. Love it. That's working. So let's see what print we get from our ghost print. Yes. Look how cool that is. And the paper looks fabulous as well. I love the way you get to paint the paper. That leaves an absolutely glorious pattern. I really like using that Kozo paper to take those prints. Now, my fabulous cardstock, which is beautiful, by the way, soaked up most of the paper. But it has left me a nice geometric shape, and that's really what I wanted it for. And I can still use it for collage because I didn't wreck it. Yay! I like the marks there from my catalyst blade. That's fun. I'm going to let that dry, and then we'll pull that print onto, maybe we should put on some bronze. I'm feeling it. We need bronze. So let's put on the beautiful iridescent bronze fine and pull up this glorious pattern that's on the plate. Those papers, these papers here print so well. They're amazing, and I've got so many different types. This pattern would print well too. Oh, quick, put it down, pay attention, get the print up. I get a little excited and a little carried away. Let's get the print up. Now I'm going to try something risky. I've got this tissue, which is an archival tissue from a conservation place. I don't know, man. I was just trying to find something a little more tougher than the standard tissue, and the wet strength tissue was out of stock. So I thought I'd get some of this from this conservation place. But I don't know, it doesn't feel that great. We're going to see whether or not it was a good idea or not. And it's already wrinkled on the plate. Oh man, I didn't really get it on overly straight. It's a little wrinkled, but hopefully it pulls up the print. I'm always trying different papers, different textures, and different ideas. That's what you have to do to develop your creativity, to increase your skills. You just have to be willing for it to not work. And it can all go to custard. Yeah, but you know, you don't have to show anybody. You just get to watch all of my blunders. Ooh, it's actually not too bad. It's coming up rather beautiful. Shh, don't say anything. We don't want to put me off now. Oh yes, that's beautiful. Look at that pattern. That's just from some textured paper from the scrap bag. few side pieces of jelly print onto cardstock, and then a couple of pieces of some off-cut textured papers. And look at the glorious print it's pulled. Just love it. There's so much possibility. Should we try these? Let's try these and see if they print. I don't know if they will, but I think we should try it. There's still a little paint there on the plate. We'll just leave it. It'll be all right. Let's put some more of the beautiful deep matte paint on the plate. And we'll try the next brilliant idea. Now I've got some of these. These are stencil butter shapes through a stencil onto a piece of paper, and they're quite raised. So I thought maybe they might work, but I'm really not sure. Haven't tried it before. I don't actually know if they will work, but you know, we've got to try these things. They're in the scrap bag, so we need to give them a go on the plate. Have a little try. If it doesn't work, it doesn't matter, does it? Nah, not to me. So in between that, we could put some of the textured paper. That'll work, and then that'll fill up all that space. And then if the dash shapes don't work, then the other textured paper will. Something will print, right? Let's try this one. This is the other Kozo paper, and it's got really nice holes in it that I love. Maybe a piece of this one on the end. You might need to push that one down with the holes so that it takes a bit of a indent into the gel plate. Cool. And we might run over those ones with my stencil butter just to push them down a bit into the plate. Let's see what that does. And then we'll take off our textured piece. Yes, look at that, Mark. Love that. This one's working really well. Take off this one. This one works really well too. It's a little finer, more delicate. Not like me at all. And look, it printed. How exciting is that? Okay, don't get too excited. Look, it printed. That is so cool. So this was with my stencil, my dashes stencil with stencil butter, because I love it. I know I kind of wrecked the piece now, but it printed really well. And if you use colors you like, the crosses is not too bad. Then it won't matter anyway, because you'll still want to put them in your collage. That printed really beautiful. Love that. Oh my gosh, the Kozo paper works amazing. And that one is not as impressive, but it's also not as big and as thick, so that's quite logical, really. And let's see what this one did. Yeah, a few crosses, not too bad, not too bad. But these ones worked out really cool. That's just a whole lot of fun. Okay, so I'll just let that dry for a minute, and then we'll pull that print, and then maybe we'll just do one more before we pull out all the rest of the papers and put our collage together. So what are we going to pull it with? I'm thinking a little Titan buff, if I've got any, left in it. How about some bronze? I know. Don't put on too much paint. That's going to create a really nice metallic-y look with a little bit of Titan buff as well. Righto. Let's see how much that picked up. These papers print so well. It's so much fun. Did it work? Oops. Got a little bit stuck on the plate there. But it's mostly coming off. Mostly is pretty good, I'm thinking. Oh man, have a look at these textures. They work really well. So there's the print from my stencil butter shapes. And there's some more of the crosses on some paper, some beautiful textured paper, some more of the crosses and the Kozo. Yes, it works really well. So all you need is any of your little bits and pieces or your prints or your stencil papers that have got a little bit of a ridge or a raise on them, they'll print really well on the gel plate. And it's really fun to experiment. Okay, we'll just do one more. Right, so what are we going to use for our last print? Oh man, so many possibilities. Well, I've pulled out the brown black, one of my favorite colors. It's like a sepia color. I use it a lot with the image transfers because it works really well. And it goes well with all of my fabulous bronzy colors that I love so much. Looks a bit like Vegemite, don't you think? Yes, I do. Now, I have rummaged through my scrap bag and found some of these masks. These are from PM Artist Studio. So I'm thinking, let's put them on the plate. They were sitting in the bottom of my scrap bag because they're so little. So they probably got scooped up and popped in there when I was doing a big cleanup. Look how fun that is. I'm liking that. What about these? Should we put these on? I'm thinking so. Look how cool these circle shapes are. Now, what are we going to put with the fabulous circle shapes? What about some of the textured paper? Which one do we want to go with? I don't know, man. There's so many decisions to make. Let's just put some of the paper over the top, whatever we've got that we can find from the scrap bag. Let's just print it on there as well. What about some of that one? That one's going to look great. And we know these ones work. So let's go with that as well. All of it looks fabulous. Right, I'm going to just push it down with this piece so that it leaves more of a print. Oops, on the plate, got stuck on that corner. Not to worry, not to worry. What did that do for us? Man, I love these textures. That's just fabulous. Righto, let's just pull all this off and then we'll print that. Oh, look how cool that is. You can actually see the shape of the mask on it. Yay. Oh, that one looks good too. Look at that one. Winning. What I'm going to do is create another layer. I know, I was just hit with a moment of inspiration. What about I put another layer on top before I pull the print? Because then where it's masked out, that'll stop the paint that I put on next. And then when I pull it, it'll create another layer of color. Okay, let's do that then. So we'll leave that and we'll just give it a minute to dry a little bit more because it's a bit sticky. And we'll put another color on top before we actually pull the print. So let's try a layer of transparent red iron oxide right over the top, trying not to muck up my lovely mask shapes. And then we'll pull the masks off. Don't worry, it's working all right in my brain. We'll see if it works all right on the paper. All right, so transparent iron oxide on top of the brown black. Pull the masks off and then we'll pull the print. I do think it's dry enough, so let's give it a go. Oh, I'm going with some quinacridone magenta because I just think the beautiful pinky tone might be able to break through that brown and add a little bit of a zing. Okay, paint is down, paper is on. I might leave it for a few extra minutes just so it can grab those glorious paint layers because I really want it to pull up. I think the textures of these beautiful papers work incredibly well on the gel plate. Seriously, you're going to have to try it. Okay, so I left it a few more minutes to see if it was going to pick up my print. Ooh, might be a little stuck. Oh man. Should we try a different side? Oh, no. Let's just try a different side. You know what you can do if it gets a little stuck? Is you can pull the plate from the paper rather than pulling the paper off the plate. So like this. Oh, look how cool it looks. Hope it comes off, man. And then you can kind of slowly peel the plate away from where it's sticking. Sometimes it really helps. It makes a huge difference if it wants to stick. Maybe I could have waited a little bit longer, but oh man, I'm not good at waiting. Oh, it's coming off now. Oh, it's just stuck on the edges in a couple of places, but definitely pulling the plate away from the paper was better than trying to pull the paper off the plate. Ta-da, ta-da! And there we go. Look how beautiful that looks. Not too bad, not too bad. It's really interesting texture. Have a look where you can see the beautiful papers underneath, the mask shapes and the different layers of colors. It actually really looks cool when you hold it up to the light. Because I used a couple of transparent colors, yes, it's a whole lot of fun and possibilities really are endless. You just need to get into it, pull out your scrap bag and have a little play and see what you can come up with. So I think I've got paper stuck all over me. I think we should put a little collage together, a real fast collage, because I've got the scrap bag. It'll be so easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Let's do it. Do I want to use some of today's prints? Maybe. Baby, we just might. Right, so I've pulled out this acrylic paper pad. Acrylic paper, what is it? I don't know. It just says for acrylic painting, and I got it from Warehouse Stationery. What I like about it is that it's 360 GSM, so it's really thick. It'll take all my lovin', and that's what matters. It's an A4 size, so it's not very big, and I've got my Liquitex Matte Gel Medium, I've got a brush, and I've got way too many papers. Besides all of today's fabulous printing frenzy, I also have all of these papers from my glorious scrap bag. So where am I going to start? What am I going to choose? Clearly I can't put all of these papers on my one little piece of A4 acrylic paper. So I'm thinking, which one from today do I want to add onto my paper? And then I could put some of these highlights. Well, I thought this print was really fun. I like the different layers in it. I kind of like the moody color of it. So, you know, it's dry enough to start with. Let's start with a piece of this one. I'm thinking, where do we want it? You know, things may get covered up in the end. So don't get stressed out about it if I put on your favorite piece and then I cover it up. Because sometimes when you're doing intuitive collage like this, you just need somewhere to start. You need something to begin with that's going to get your creative juices flowing. And then in the process of it, sometimes some of your favorite bits get covered up, but you had to have started. You had to get off the starting block and get moving, and sometimes that's just what it takes. So this beautiful print that I just did like now, 5 minutes ago, it's dry enough. I'm going to start with that because I don't know, I think it's really interesting. I think the colors are interesting. The paper patterns look amazing the way they printed on the gel plate. So, you know, that's a great place to start. Let's just put that on right there. And then what I like to do is respond to that piece. What do I think is going to work well now with this beautiful piece that I put on? What colors and textures are going to enhance that? Well, you know, this one's sitting right next to me, so we might as well go with this one. This one's going to work. It's a beautiful print that I did with that fabulous black gold ink. Yes, that was a whole lot of fun. That was. Let's put that on here. That color's going to work. The texture looks fabulous. So, you know, we're away. It's really not going to take very much to fill up this piece of paper. What about this piece? Okay, it's a gold. It'll work. We'll put it over here. This one will probably get something else over it. We could put one of those pieces of paper that have got the holes in it, some of the textured paper, because that would look really good on top of the bronze here. I'm liking that. That's going to work. What about this one? Do we have to have the numbers up the right way? Why do we? We don't have to, but I'll put them up the right way. And just like that, we've already filled up the background. I did say it was going to be a quick collage. Oops, got a bit of a gap. Let's put something there. Ooh, a piece of this would be nice. This is beautiful rice paper. Yes, from Kozo. With my glorious stencil of my poem. That works really well. Let's put that right there. And the background's done. Okay, now for the fun bit. Let's add some of this textured paper with the holes in it. That one didn't print. That one got printed. I can see the color on it. It really doesn't matter, because if you use them for your prints, then you can always turn it over if you want to then put it in the collage if you don't like the color. So I'm tearing at the sides here because it's got the fabulous threads in it, and I just like that texture. Gonna put that there, give it a trim off, somewhere about there. That'll work. Give it a nice coating of matte medium so it sticks down well. Beautiful texture, love this paper. Okay, what's my fingers going to touch next in this massive pile of amazing awesomeness? What about some of these? Some of these crosses would look good. Do we want some with the red, or do we just want some with the gold? Let's go with the red. Sure thing. Fast and furious, quick decisions, and we'll see how it turns out. Let's just trim that one up a bit more so it's not so big. This is how you make fast collage out of your scrap bag. I'm putting this one on over here. Quick decisions. The paper's down. What's next? How about we add some of the red down in this corner? This is the one that we printed on. Doesn't matter. It'll be fine. We could put it right there. Nah, I don't like it. And it's just like magic. You can press the delete button and pull it back off again. It was too dark. On top of this, it didn't show either of the papers to their potential, so we can't have that there. And I'll put it over here so it can dry with all the matte medium on it. See, easy peasy, just pull it back off again if something doesn't go the way you want. I think we need something a bit lighter. I think I need to lighten up. Well, this leaf shape's pretty nice. Let's add some of this. I'm liking this idea much better. Although I am losing that beautiful paper underneath. I knew that would happen. All right, let's get some little bit lighter colors in here. What I like about printing the poem stencil onto white tissue is that it dissolves really nice when you put it down. I think my pieces need to get smaller, otherwise everything just gets covered. Oh yeah, that's going to look good. Let's add some more of that down here. That's a nice gold piece. That's going to work. And perhaps some white. What I like about this beautiful paper is that it goes quite transparent once you put it down. I think we perhaps need to add some more of that over this side. How about some of the beautiful textured paper? This paper really does go very transparent when it's glued down, and you just see the glorious fibers. So it won't matter if I put it over this section because you'll still see those beautiful colors coming through. Oh man, I think my paper's already filled up. We have to have a few of the dashes because they look glorious. Do we want the ones with the Stardust stencil butter or the ones that were printed? I don't know, man, they both work. The color works, but I think we'll go with the lighter one because, you know, I'm trying to lighten up. They look great. I love them. Love the shapes. Love the thickness of the stencil butter. I think I just really like texture. Right, what else do I desperately have to have and can't live without? I think I have to have some of this, but if I put it down there, I know I'm going to cover my background paper. Yeah, but I have to do it. So maybe, baby, another piece of the numbers down this side, and then, you know, I think we're done. I think we're done. Just saying. I knew it would be fast and furious. Yes, that looks great. That's my number stamp in the fabulous copper colour. Love the movement of it. I'm really happy with it. I know it was quick and my decisions were fast, and you might be screaming at me over some of the decisions I made. You'll just have to make your own. Now, I do have some of these scrap bags for sale in my shop, brand new collection. I make them in batches, and once they're gone, they're gone. And at the moment, these particular colors are in there because I've been using, printing, making, exploring, experimenting with these colors. I've got one of these beautiful beehive circles. Where am I going to put it? We have to have it. We just have to. We can't not. So I think it's going to go right there. And then perhaps I'll let my fabulous collage dry before I decide if it is actually finished. Shall we try the red again? Shall we just try it? I'm thinking I could put it on top of the natural one and it mightn't look so bad this time, and I mightn't want to rip it off straight away. So let's just try it there, and then we'll call it done, and we'll see how it dries up. Thanks for joining me today. What do you think of my fabulous collage? I just love it, and I had so much fun. Now don't forget to check out the links in the description under the video for discount codes. You want discount codes because we all like a good bargain. You'll also find some of my fabulous scrap bags in the shop, but be quick, they don't last very long. Have a great time experimenting with textured papers on your gel plate because it really is a lot of fun, and I'll see you next time in the studio.